they're playing.
He gets paid to order.
Can we stand for the pledge, please? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Steve, can you do the prayer for us?
And Father, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Amen.
Okay.
You guys are going to talk loud.
Okay, everybody bear with us because we don't have a microphone. I'm going to call roll real quick. Mike Bonomo?
Here.
Mike Clausen?
Here.
Steve Ballach?
Here.
And I'm Angel Shake. We have a quorum.
Okay, the next thing is discussion of the Civic Center. Discussion includes ideas from the public.
Can't hear you. Nobody can hear you.
Okay, we're going to discuss only topics about the Civic Center, about uses and ideas of where grants can be found and donations. With that, Mike Clausen, who heads up the project for the township, he will take over.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike Clausen. I'm managing the Civic Center project. I'm here to answer any of your questions, anything that you have.
I was able to listen to one of your meetings and I heard you mention phases. I did try and do my due diligence. I looked at the scope today.
It's okay.
I looked on your website. I don't see the phases listed. And then I also did kind of look through the budget because I know you're talking about grants. I haven't found a budget to let me know how much each phase is, and does that include furniture besides? Because as we talk about the use, I'm kind of curious of what is in those budget numbers.
Did you say what furniture? Is that what you said?
Furniture, sorry. Like, are we is that included? So again, I'm trying to find the numbers, and then the phases, like when is phase 1 open, what is phase 2? I think I heard you say there's 3.
There's two.
2, okay.
Two.
And what those are. And where can I find them?
The Civic Center is going to be opening, the target opening is June.
Okay.
And right now we're just wrapping up phase 1. Phase 1 is the general construction of the infrastructure, sprinkler system, shell of the building, the installation. The entryway is drywall and sheeted. The entryway on the roofs and the locker areas is all put in. The things that are not included in phase 1 would be like the flooring, things like that, basketball hoops, bleachers.
So how much is phase 2 cost then? Because I know that from my understanding from the last meeting, the phase 1 money is spent.
Okay, Mike, I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
One second?
About this last thing.
Yeah, we've talked about this at the other 2 meetings. We will address this again, but...
So it wasn't a recording, so I wasn't there. So
Right,
since I wasn't there,
no, it's fine. You're going to be able to ask the questions. I'm sorry, but let's just get through what's on the agenda with the ideas for the public, like what they want and everything else.
But I don't know what money's included. It says donation and grants, so I'm trying to
We were told by the
understand.
Attorney General we can't talk about any question or anything that's not on the agenda. So we
So what
can't
is
talk about
included?
the
Is
budget.
furniture included so that I know what you said?
We were
Yes.
told,
That's,
we can't talk about, we were talking about ideas or uses of the Civic Center.
So what's in the interior that's included so I can make some suggestions?
We can talk about any ideas you have.
Any suggestions?
But if we don't know what's in the building, we can't make suggestions or ideas.
okay, so what is in the building right now? We're in phase 1.
That's all that she was asking.
Okay, sorry. So the building is up, right? Mike, the inside, they're waiting to put in the piping underneath for the plumbing, but all the bathrooms and everything, we have 6 individual,
I mean,
right?
it's exactly what I said.
That's what's in the shell of the building.
Mechanical is
Anything that the public wants to...
We do not have an occupancy permit for
So
anybody.
we can't talk about what we're doing there. You can
can ask Mike about questions of when we'll be done, that kind of thing. But after the meeting, you can talk to us about anything you want.
Yeah, we'll all stick around.
During this time, we have to keep it strictly to what it says, ideas about uses for the Civic Center. That's
So
all we can talk
he's
about.
talking about the
Gymnasium with
phases.
bathrooms.
He's talking about the phases, correct?
Yeah.
So when is phase 1 complete? You said June, when will phase 2 be complete?
So under the AG's rule, we have to talk about what you guys want to use the Civic Center. We can talk about the rest of that after. I don't want to get all of this.
Okay.
We'll talk about that with you anytime.
Okay.
Email me
Move off
for
of item A to item B, because item B is donations and grants. And
Okay.
that's what we're asking. So, do we have to finish with item A
Would you
first?
read item A for me, please?
Pardon?
What's item A?
It's ideas from the public.
I don't have one with me. Yeah, I just walked in. Okay, so ideas from the public.
Not be too condescending there.
I knew what it said.
So I do have a clarifying question. In the scope, it said the Civic Center will employ qualified personnel such as activity coordinators, caregivers, and support staff to ensure the smooth operation of program activities. This was submitted to the village in June of 2024. Before I can suggest an idea, will there be paid employees as it says in the scope?
Okay. Obviously, we have paid employees that work for the township.
Well, these
that's-
say activity coordinators, so I'd like to know before I make my suggestion.
This is, whatever the public wants to see happen, that's what we will do our best to make happen. We are not, on the agenda, we're not here to discuss how we're going to pay employees or who we're going to pay employees.
I'm not asking that. I'm asking
If you-
about what kind of qualified employees so I can make my
Right,
suggestion for you.
let me give you an example. If somebody needs something for the special needs group, right? Then, and somebody brings up, we want this program for the special needs. If it's something that we're going to be able to make to fruition, we will have somebody that obviously will be in charge of that, that will be trained and qualified to do that. So if that answers your question, we will take any ideas because we want to hear all the ideas. There may be things that people want to use this for that we haven't even thought of. So right now, that's what we're focusing on. We want the ideas to see what the residents want the uses of the Civic Center.
There's no reason to hold back on any suggestions at all. This is your structure. It's your building, so just give us suggestions so we can.
But it's not, because there was a civic plan already proposed in June of 2024 that was based off of your ideas. So as a community member, I'm trying to understand what your ideas were based on the words that I have on this paper. And I can't give my ideas if I don't know what your ideas are. Because you guys had this plan before the community was invited to add input.
We're looking for input of your ideas so we can add them to the list that we already
Well,
have.
where is that
And
list
then-
actually? Because I went
so,
online, you mentioned a wish
excuse
list
me a
in the
second.
January 9th meeting, and I
Excuse me one
can't
second,
find the
please.
wish list.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Brent, do you want to read the ideas we already have from the others?
This is, the last two meetings we had, I ran through these items. Every single one of them, the last two meetings. All right, we'll go through this the third time. There's going to be a link on the Township website and on the Homer Township Highway website with a calendar of events and a program guide. Reservations are going to be made through the website and the facility manager. The facility manager is somebody that we're going to use from our staff. Rental contracts will be used for users as required. There'll be floor plans sent out with tables and seating layouts and outlets to people that want to use the facility.
Can I ask
There will be special event insurance under the www.eventhelper.com site for users as required. The maintenance duties are going to be also from township staff. There's going to be background checks on volunteers. The programs that we have are voluminous here. And whatever I don't have listed on here, that's what we're looking for, more ideas.
It would
Okay?
have helped you if these were actually in your approved minutes on January
I
9th
don't
and
write it.
28th, and none of that is listed in these minutes.
I don't take the minutes.
Okay, but
I
then
just
you
read them
were
off.
wrong.
I'm gonna read them off, okay?
Everyone can hear what we think, and then you guys can give us more ideas, because we're not
These
here
will
to
be
argue.
eventually on a
You know,
website
there's one
somewhere.
person in this whole room we're arguing with, and it's like a dumb thing. We can't talk about anything
Don't be
that's not on the
condescending.
agenda,
We're
period.
a community.
Steve, I did my research before I came, so I could be
Listen to
educated.
Brett talk.
But
You're
you know what, the
interrupting
dumb thing is
everybody.
that
Now
I did
stop.
my research and I
Please
tried to
stop.
educate myself
Okay,
and the
point of
information
order.
wasn't provided.
I think there's other people here that would like to have conversation. You're not the only one in the room. Brett, you want to carry on?
Yeah, and put it on the website, put it in the minutes, whatever. I have a copy here. I had the last two meetings. This third meeting, I went through the same items.
And it's on a website somewhere now?
I don't know. I have my sheet of paper that I typed up and I gave it to everybody.
Hey, if that's, excuse me, if that's the idea, that we want things on the website, we're writing that down right now.
But if
Okay.
you discuss it in a meeting, it should be in the minutes, right?
Okay, and it'll be in the minutes now too.
Well, the first meeting
Idea
was
two,
videotaped.
minutes. Check.
The first meeting was videotaped by Grant.
And they'll serve as your minutes, correct?
And that should serve as the minutes. The last one, I don't know if he was at videotaping the last one.
Talk louder.
For the
So the
programs.
minutes are greatly lacking.
So for the programs, this is in groups of different groups of people. Special needs and disabled residents, that's one of the primary targets that we have. Okay, and I have 6 items down for that. I have communication seminars,
Louder.
behavior seminars, deaf social support group, wheelchair basketball, athletic support programs, and parent seminars. Things like trusts, wills, long-term support, things like that. Athletic support programs like basketball, volleyball, things like that for the kids. It's like a Special Olympics kind of sort of something like that. If you're aware of that, it's like what they have at the high school for the special needs kids. The second target group is seniors. So the items I have for that: bingo, knit and crochet group, health and wellness, gentle yoga, Zumba, I don't know what that is, bunko, chair aerobics, meditation. And there's also Meals on Wheels that was mentioned at the last meeting. For the youth programs, we have cheer, more athletic stuff. Cheer, basketball, volleyball, dance, painting, soccer, t-ball, floor hockey, scout troops, and something mentioned before, homeschool groups. There's cooking too, but I don't think the kitchen is, I think the kitchen is in phase 2. Adult programs, kind of the same thing. Pickleball, karate, self-defense, yoga, dance, painting, and CCR seminars. And then of course, we have the township activities that we have: Halloween party, Christmas party, Pet Fest, Senior Expo, things like that. And then then also on the property to make use of the nature part of it. We talked about having outdoor events, a nature school, camp outs, and things like that. That would be outside the structure. So that's everything that I have listed. And basically, the list that I have comes from other township civic centers in the region and their programs and things they have on their calendars. Some are one day a week, some are every week. I don't know what the needs are going to be for which ones of these items, but we're going to have to try to make out a calendar with repeat weekly sessions. But the big thing is volunteers. We got to have volunteers to make all this stuff work. So that's everything that I have. And again, I'll give this list to Angel. She can, or just get the video and look at it.
Hang on, Brent.
On January 9th minutes, from the January 9th meeting, item 4A is ideas from the public on usage.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Right, it's in there.
It had some, it didn't have all the email listed.
There were 3 meetings, this was only one.
That's just from the public. Those items on there are from public.
The January 28th, it has,
Feedback.
doesn't have that many items either. I do have both of these.
Okay.
But but they just became live on the website today at 4 o'clock when I called about this.
Okay.
Some of the other stuff we discussed at the last meeting, the flooring is going to be concrete. Having hardwood floors and floors just for basketball and things like that is another tier, maybe even after phase 2. What else did we talk about? We talked about dividers in the gym, and there's low-end dividers and there's high-end dividers on how much you want to spend money on. So again, as funds come in, we will add things like that. And I think that's everything from the last 2 meetings that I wrote down.
So now we're looking for input from you guys. What kind of ideas do you have for that civic center that we didn't already say? Do you want to expand on any of those ideas? Anybody have anything they want to add to that?
Thanks for question. So I listened to your list, and a lot of those things the Lockport Township does now. So we kind of...
Lockport Township, Lamont Township,
So
Lennox
is
Township,
that
yeah.
what we're looking to put there, such as like what they have? Like
Yeah, these
you're
are all
talking about the
success-
Halloween for the kids, you're talking about the Christmas for the kids, you're talking about bingo every 3 days a week, you're talking about when senior citizens get together, they serve them breakfast, and with different organizations like Social Security or DMVs and all that. Is that what we're thinking to put over there?
Yeah, now, the kitchen is in another phase. It's a lot of
No,
money.
they
So
have to
the
be-
cooking part of it,
They
we would have to
allow
have
them
something
to
brought
go
in or something like
bring it
that.
in.
Yeah. But yeah, the number of sessions per week, and if you have it every week, depends on the demand, obviously. We don't know what the demand is yet.
Right.
It's more of a trial and error. It usually might take 5 to 6 months to get your base, your sample audience, your sample users together to make a calendar out. But again, it's about the volunteers. These are all great ideas, but unless there's a leader in the room, it's kind of hard if everybody's kind of looking for somebody to lead the class and nobody's leading the class.
Hey, Brent, you
So that's
when you
important.
mentioned that you looked at surrounding areas, sorry, you hear me?
Yep.
So those programs from Lamont Township, Lockport Township, what percentage of their staff is volunteer?
None.
What percent of their staff is volunteer? Most, they have a similar structure to what we have, where they have a facility manager that is like an umbrella person over everything. And then she had helpers that some of them were paid, like the specialty classes. You might throw in $5-10 per session, like for self-defense or something like that. But a lot of the senior and special needs stuff, they had people that volunteered for it. And then people that stepped forward and said they would lead the class. So whenever you have a class that people have to, we have to get a specialized teacher for, that nobody will volunteer for, there's no staff that's qualified for it, you have to throw in money.
And me and Carmen Morella went to the Northern SRA, and we talked with them, and they're real excited because they can use this facility, and they're willing to help us out too. So we have other organized groups that will help us also. It's just a matter of, when we get ready to go, we don't want to just open up and say, here, everybody come. We got to take it a little slow so we don't mess this thing up. We want to make sure everything works right. And having the Northern SRA for our special needs people, that's a big deal. They know what they're doing. They've been around for a long time. They own their own building. So it's really a good group, and they will help us.
Make one.
Yeah. Regarding the seniors and all, that's one thing I pretty much have done for the last 4 years. Huh? Yeah, well, it's hard to do insurance-wise and everything. It's very difficult, and if you're late or something, it becomes a debacle. But so for the last 4 years, I've been handling senior activities. We conduct about 7 to 8 activities a month, and each one of them is predicated on the availability of people, businesses or places in the area. Cross Glory being the one. I do bingo there once a month. 4 times throughout the year, I cannot. because it's a conflict for them, so I have to find another venue to hold the event, the bingo, okay? So that becomes, it's not really a problem, people accommodate, but for seniors to go into the megaplex or whatever, opposed to cross square, you walk right, it becomes a problem. So seniors are habit forming. That's why I do it the second Tuesday of every month. You can't change that or you lose half of them, okay? Because again, it's in their head, they're zeroed in. I do expos, gardening. We did a Valentine's Day luncheon today at Blueberry Hill where 140 showed up. We do a lot of events, yoga, and yoga's held at the megaplex 3 times a month. Now the gentleman runs it there, good friend and everything. He's my stepdaughter running the show there and gives her the space at no charge. That you never know, that may run out. So then what? I have to tell 20 seniors that go to her every 3 times a month that you're going to have to start paying more because of different venue, whatever. This Civic Center will give us the opportunity to eliminate all issues that I have with my seniors, which runs into the 100 plus every month that I accommodate. So this is strong for me and my seniors. Every one of my seniors, we've talked to them about it, and non-political, but talking about a Civic Center, and they all applauded what we're doing because it gives them a place to go, a place that they call their own, and crochet classes, something I'm not that good at, or anything that's senior. So if we had a whole bunch of seniors in there, they'd probably come up with 1,000 ideas of what we could do with our Civic Center. Some babysit their grandkids. They might want to bring their grandkids over to shoot some baskets while they're sitting, maybe reading a book or something, and having a little fun. You're looking at pretty much what we're going to make it into. A field house like this, where you could essentially do anything.
Volunteers and stuff.
Yeah, and from a volunteer standpoint, we're talking about that. So with the seniors, I have 20 names on a speed dial that I could call at any time, 7 days a week, and they would be there to help me with whether it's the expo, whatever, at no cost. So from my perspective, seniors, which to me is the most important part of our community, they're the bedrock in my opinion, and children for that matter. I could get 20 volunteers with stand up and painter. Some are sitting in the audience right here. Everyone here, I say I'm not back to call. I have to call them instantly. And it doesn't cost a thing. And in terms of specialty, we have Jimmy Shake, his husband. He knows all the martial arts and stuff. He'd be willing to volunteer to have martial arts classes. And if he wanted to charge anything, I think Angel had a problem with it, so he's not going to do that. So, well, we'll see. But we have plenty of people in our arsenal that can help. And when I do my senior expos, I bring in 50 vendors. I guarantee you, any one of those 50 vendors will come to our Civic Center to show our seniors something at no cost. I can guarantee you that. So that's hopefully will help you with what we're trying to do.
I have a question. What other resources for the things you're talking about do our seniors have in our community now? I know there's programs at the library.
I've given, at the expo, I put 50 vendors in front of them, which offer them services. You have Will County Cares, you have Will County Senior Services. That would essentially, if we did what they did, we'd be duplicating services, and it would be a cost to us. So instead, believe me, they have all the resources in front of them, and I make sure they have them where they can make one phone call. In fact, they call me to call them. I've had connections with Silver Cross where people were having trouble getting a doctor's appointment, and while they were at the expo, they made a phone call on the spot, and she got an appointment the next day. So every senior that I encounter, and believe me, I push for us. It's hard to get seniors to come out and do things. I pushed Marion Village, Victorian Village to come to my bingos where they have a great meal, great time, and they
I guess I'm just speaking more recreational wise, like everything that the Township Senior Committee.
Recreational-wise, this has been going on for years. The previous administration,
I'm talking about this administration.
I know, well, I'm telling you what I do and what we're trying to do and with the volunteers that we have. If I wanted to pay somebody $120,000 a year to control 24/7, where I work full-time, I take Tuesday off for the seniors, for the bingo and everything, and with what I do, then we could run a full-out program and do everything. But I don't hear any complaints from any of my seniors with what we do, and I control it. In the past, they controlled it, and they controlled their own destiny. All the township did is gave them a bus to get on and go to Starved Rock, which is ridiculous in my opinion, or Drury Lane or anything like that. I bring it to them where they come to one place and they have a good time.
Yes, I'm
and
sure
again,
you do a wonderful job.
Well, I appreciate that.
I want to make sure, like with the Civic Center being built, lots of money's gone into it. Are we just duplicating things that they can get nearby?
Seniors have been, most of the seniors I have been in this town for a long time, paid a lot of taxes. This is essentially our gift to them to come in the building and pay nothing to have activities brought to them. And what would be your idea for a senior activity?
No, I think the activities that you provide are great activities.
Yeah, well,
and
then I
make
could,
sure that we're not
well, give us,
spending
again,
money on things that they already have.
if I could have Cross of Glory every day,
Yeah.
I would have activities every day. If I could have Megaplex for free every day, I would do something. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm going off of their schedule, so it makes it impossible for me to say, let's have bingo every Tuesday. I can't do that. Cross of Glory wouldn't allow it.
Okay.
And so I go, again, it's time for me. And outside of our, all of us have careers and businesses and this and that. So we do what we can.
Karen, go ahead.
So, Karen?
Are we like one of the last townships to have a civic center?
What's that?
Like, I feel like Lamont's had a civic center forever. All these towns have all these amenities, and we pay a lot of taxes.
Well,
I don't feel like
I'm gonna say this.
upset about having the civic center, but I feel like we're behind.
I'm going to say this. Okay, they voted for the
Everybody
pole
else,
barn,
every other
right?
town has.
It's kind of good though, because
That's right. Well,
I'm just confused
No,
as to why people think
1988,
we're doubling services or whatnot when we don't have one.
okay. Here's one thing that I would like to say too. Talk, whatever. We did it. We put this thing together. This thing's been in play since 1998. Has been discussed. We did it. We put it together. Now, people say you build something and you don't have ideas. When they built Wrigley Field, they didn't anticipate they were going to play football games in that stadium. When they built U.S. Cellular, Sox Park, no, I'm just telling you. So we're trying to create different ideas for a building. People are coming. What are you going to do? Did you ever?
Like, okay, these
Come
can
on.
be discussed after.
Yeah, we'll discuss it afterwards. But with the seniors, I'm telling you, this is.
but it's kind of a good thing that we're after the fact because they went through the trial and error.
Yeah, that's
The
cool.
regional ones around
I'm
us,
just saying, everybody
people
else
aren't
does.
that much different, I would think, from town to town. Because there's a lot of overlap. If you look at all the other programs, a lot of them have overlap on what they have on their calendars and their program guides, which works, and they have consistent attendance at them. So that's kind of what we're looking for.
So ideas for what we could do with the facility. So,
One of the things that we talked about was having after-school programs for kids. What do you guys think about what kind of after-school programs for kids should we offer? That would be some input that you guys could give us.
So I think it's going to be an issue because where the township building is only serves District 92 students, which means that transportation would only be provided for District 92 students.
Okay.
So that would be one issue if you're asking.
So you're saying that bus transportation, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Would only be centralized. See, okay, so where the civic center is located, it is centralized exactly.
I understand, but
between
school
Lockport.
boundary-wise, it only was in District 92, so only those buses can drive there. Other districts don't go out of their school boundaries to drive students.
Sure they do.
The activity
No,
buses-
they don't.
the
I
activity
actually
buses-
spoke to a superintendent
I
today.
can interrupt, I can tell you the answer to that. It's a simple answer.
Sure.
Once we let the schools know we're talking about programs now. We're not talking about buses, we're
Sure.
talking about programs, just so it's clear. I don't want to you off this topic. It would take me one phone call to talk to District 92 and tell them the programs we're offering and would they like to have a bus from their school drop off the kids. The same with 33C. And if we
Except
decided
for
to
it
bring in
can't go- I
teenagers, we
appreciate
could
that, Steve,
talk
but
to
it
Mr.
can't go
McBride,
out of
and I'm
bounds.
sure Mr. McBride will jump in the idea too. Because all
Okay.
those people want the best for those
But
kids.
being that you don't want to duplicate services, I'm sure you don't want to take it from the Park District that already provides after-school programs in the buildings per their website.
Okay,
Right, but
so
sometimes those
are
are
you saying
full.
Oasis? Is
I
that-
couldn't get my kids through the Oasis
Yes.
sometimes.
Okay, so the Oasis program does offer activities for after school, and it's run by the Park District, not the school.
I just want to
Okay,
confirm.
after school, though, everybody, first of all, a lot of times Oasis has been full. Like,
Sure.
when my son was in
Absolutely.
school, it was booked. Like, we couldn't even, we were on a waiting list. Second of all,
Same with me.
one of the programs that was brought up by a couple of our residents, some of the seniors asked, they would like to help kids after school with homework and reading with them and things like that. We've had a lot of seniors say they would love to volunteer for that. So these programs might not be, let's say, directly like a bus from school takes these kids to the center. It might be where a parent
A
has to
mentor
get
program.
A parent, yeah, a mentorship
Like
program.
a grandparent program.
Right, but the parent would
That's
be
a good
responsible
idea.
for getting their kid to the facility.
Write that
So
one
sometimes
down.
they carpool and things like that.
That's a good
But
one.
yes, the seniors, it was gonna be like a senior buddy program. So a senior was going to work with some of the kids, and we were gonna pair them with buddies.
Brian, could you also add special needs grandparent?
Yeah.
Like, I think it shouldn't do that.
Right.
I do have one question about that, is being that you'll have volunteers with children and insurance, how does that get taken care of?
Well, all volunteers always have to be fully vetted. So,
Background checks.
you know, they do background checks on
So
volunteers.
that's something the township does.
That is something that the township does through, you know, like through Torma, through our insurance, right? And everything else, yeah, everything's got to be vetted completely.
Okay, that's all, I'm trying to get a better understanding. So if you run a grandparent program, that parent knows they're leaving them with somebody who has been background checked.
Absolutely.
And that.
But also they're leaving, also in the facility, we will have someone from the township that is in charge of that facility that will always be there. So it's
Will
not.
be on site.
Yes, we'll be on site at all times.
And then just curious, when you mentioned the concrete floor, have you talked to anyone in regards to mobility for those, if you do use it for wheelchair basketball, how they
The
can
concrete
maneuver
floor,
on?
yeah, actually, we were told that the concrete floor was the best
It's the best for it.
Okay.
floor for wheelchairs and things like that. And so for accessibility, that was our best option. It doesn't just look like a sidewalk. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all polished concrete. It's like you would see in a big mall.
Well, Mariano should use it.
Yeah, like Mariano's, like,
Because that's polished concrete.
right.
Some of the modern athletic floors, not like this one, the modern athletic floors are soft, which makes it difficult for wheelchair activity. So that's not.
Yeah, we're not gonna be putting down like Mondo or anything, because that's not conducive for wheelchairs.
This is another silly question possibly, because I haven't actually watched wheelchair basketball, so I'm uninformed. Do the nets need to move up and down based on who's using it?
Yes, the nets are going to be able, they're able to be lowered and raised, just like, yeah, like these cans, same idea.
So, does anybody else have some ideas though? Because we can talk about all the other stuff, you know, afterwards, because I'm sure there's questions you want to ask. But we're looking for ideas for programming, you know, and if not only programs, but ways that you might come up with where we can pay for a kitchen to get put in, or a stage, so we can have the kids that want to do the drama classes and stuff put on a performance. So there's a lot of uses that we can do, and that's what we're asking you guys. What kind of uses can we get that would work there? And so far we had one idea, so far. And that's why we're doing these, so we have some kind of a framework of what the people here want. And then we want to try to create it based on what the people want. So if you have ideas, please just open up and let us know.
And once we have the specific ideas, then we can pursue the specific grants. I think that's important for everybody to realize. When you're pursuing grants, we need to be very specific when you're grant writing. So if we have the ideas, in order to make these things come to fruition with things that we're going for grants, we need the ideas to be solid ideas, and then we give all the information in the grant writing process, and that's how we can pursue the grants. Like for the kitchen, we'll be pursuing the grant for that. There are certain programs for the special needs that are going to need, maybe somebody to come in and do certain things. So we'll have to apply for certain grants. So that's why we want to get the ideas of if there's any very specific programs that you guys would like to see, not just the general ones, it would be good if you brought them up, because then we can start pursuing those grants right away.
I think a big challenge is going to be transportation. Some seniors can't drive, you know that, as you get up in age, they can't drive. Kids after school can't be picked up by their parents and take them over to the Civic Center because they're at work. So the grandparent program is a good idea. Some kind of buddy system where there's carpooling involved, that's another idea. But that's probably one of the biggest challenges to getting people over to the Civic Center for some of these specialty groups is getting someone over there, what kind of transportation can they share? Maybe they have something on the website we could have where if somebody needs a ride, they can sign up for their group saying, hey, they need a ride in this class. That's something else that maybe we could do.
A great idea.
But for seniors, yeah, a lot of them can't drive.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to have somebody drive all to some of these groups. So that's one idea that I had that wasn't on the list.
All these ideas that we're coming up with, we have to find the money to pay for it because we're not raising taxes here. That's one of the things that I told everybody from the beginning, we're not going to raise taxes. So whatever we do is going to be with money that we have. It's not going to cost any more money for it. And that was part of the old referendum, that we wouldn't raise taxes in the village. And we're following that referendum. So, anybody got any other ideas?
Well, you just gave like 80 ideas. So have we started grant writing for those ideas?
We have, right now we're applying for 3 grants. We had a grant writer, but we stopped with the grant writer because nothing was happening. And then we got a lawyer, another person that's a lawyer that writes grants, and that person has got 3 of them now.
What 3 are they writing grants for? Which 3? What 3 are they writing grants for out of these 80 ideas? What grants?
I don't remember the exact names.
So nobody knows what grants are being written right now?
If you know what, just let us know. We'll give it to the person.
She's asking what grants do you have?
I don't remember the names. One was an AAA. It was like with through. It's not part of this agenda, so I get it. I'll talk to you about it afterwards.
Isn't it? It is. It's under donations and grants. It's under donations and grants. Item B. We can talk about grants.
All right, yeah,
we're going to provide, one of them is an AARP grant. One's a grant for natural something with forestry, and I don't recall the third.
I think the confusion is, so Angel, you mentioned that give the ideas and then we can try to get grants for those specific ideas. So the 3 grants, let's say we get all 3 of those grants, what ideas do you plan to fund?
Okay, so the grants, the AARP grant is a grant that is focused on the seniors. For the children, there is a nature grant because we are trying to get in a nature program like an after school or on the weekends or something like a nature type school for the kids. So we're focusing on the kids. So far the grants are focused on outdoor activities for the children and the AARP covers a slew of activities for the seniors.
Does it answer your question, Sharon? Okay.
Still don't know what the program is. And we would really like to know, Brent and I have talked to several people that have special needs adults. We don't, like we talk about overlapping services, we know that other places offer a lot more programs for the special needs children. So the grants for the special needs, right now the only thing that we're focusing more on how we can get like the older special needs kids, some grants in there. It's not that the special needs children would be excluded, but right now we're focusing on people that ask for the special needs adults. And that one has the special needs grants. There's a lot of things that you can apply for. So like right now we're focusing on things like getting somebody in here to help parents for estate planning and things like that. But so those grants aren't going to be necessary for that. So those programs will be up and running first.
Okay, and then is there a place where we can find what grants have been awarded yet?
Yeah, when the grants get awarded, they will be on the website.
Okay, so there's not any.
We haven't
right now.
received any.
There's donations. So once we find out.
I was just asking about grants, if anything's been awarded.
Nothing has been awarded yet because until we finish these meetings and got everything, we couldn't move forward with it.
Okay, and are these being board approved before you enter in?
When we get the place up and running, it'll be May or June, then we're going to be asking people in the community, like businesses and whatever, if they want to have their name on like the kitchen, and they would pay for having the kitchen put in. Somebody wants their name on the basketball courts or the special needs kids, we can put their name on it if they'll pay for the whole thing. So those are just other ideas that we have. So it's not just grants. We're gonna look for all sources of money. Then we're also gonna probably have a wall where people donate $10, $50, $100, whatever, and their name goes up on the wall in a different spot. That's what they do at the Northern SRA. So there's a lot of ways to make money, but the grants we can apply for now, but the donations, that would come later after it's open, because how do you get someone to donate money to something that isn't done? It's not operable at all. So once it's operable in May or June, when we get the permission to use it from the village, then we can really start going hard at it. Really, so right now it's kind of, it's all, the building's up. They're talking about getting the heat in there next week sometime, if everything works right. We got to get the lights put in. We have so much stuff to do inside yet. The bathrooms are there, but they can't put the plumbing in yet because they don't have the heat. So, and the bathrooms are all individual bathroom rooms. They're not like when you go to a restaurant with stalls. These are individual rooms. So that's an important thing, because seniors and special needs people might have somebody that has to go in with them to help them. And so now they have a private bathroom with a sink. So it's something different that other places don't have, that we are putting in. So anyone got any ideas for, donations, or we're here looking for you guys to talk, and nobody's talking.
I think you just said that the donations will come once the building's open and people can see. So I mean, you're asking if we have ideas, but you just said that they'll probably wait till the building's open. So it is a little confusing. But I do have a question. It was mentioned that there was a foundation that was formed on the scope for the township. Where is that foundation? Where can I find it on the website?
What was it? What's the foundation?
To Phil say grant funding eligibility, a foundation has been established under the 501c3 status. This was for the comprehensive scope of work for the Homer Township Civic Center, that you guys opened a foundation, which obviously for getting grants and things, I think, but where would I find that on the website? Because I would assume that's where we'd have grant information.
Yeah, we have a 501c.
It says a foundation has been established. You guys submitted this to the village.
Yeah,
It's got to be on the website.
we've just gotten the last phases of it done. So we have a foundation. It's called Campus on a Rock. And then we had a...
Wait, it just got done? Not in June when this was submitted to the village?
I'm sorry.
You just finished this? Because it says in June when you submitted this to the village that there had been a foundation established already. So it wasn't established, you just finished establishing it?
We've got it established now, and we had to get the final... all the paperwork's been signed and everything's been done. So now we have a 501c, and the attorneys are looking at it to make sure... we don't want to put something out to get us in trouble. And so our attorneys have been working.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't, that it was not established but in June of 2024 is what I'm hearing.
We have everything established. It's probably, I want to say, a little bit before Christmas, or right around the Christmas time.
So we have
We have a foundation and a 501c to correspond to the foundation. And that's all done by our attorneys. So it's all legit, it's not one of these things where we're just making it up. It's called Campus on a Rock.
On a rock or on the rock? Campus on the rock.
The Rock.
The rock.
So can I ask a question? Where would I find that the board approved to open a foundation? Because I didn't see that in any of the minutes, and I would assume that the board would have to approve that. Pardon me?
The foundation is independent of the board.
Who opened the foundation?
Who opened it?
Yeah. What organization?
People from the town. Why is it open? It's just like the Nature Foundation did for the Forest Preserve.
So Campus on the Rock, people from the town.
The
So,
Forest Preserve doesn't vote on the Nature Foundation. The board is not related to anything that's going to be with the town. The board for the foundation is completely separated from the board from the town.
So who is on the board of the foundation?
Huh?
Who is on the board of the foundation?
We don't, that's something we'll talk to you about afterwards, okay? Because that's starting to go over to, there is some stuff that you could get me in trouble for, because I gotta watch. Because listen,
I'm asking something you said
asked
you
me
did,
something
that's all.
we're asking me about a foundation, and I told you we got it. And now you're asking me like other questions to dig into the foundation, which is fine. After the meeting, I will tell you anything, but during the meeting,
Okay.
I'm not going to say it because I'll be breaking the Opens Meeting Act again, and I'm not going to do that.
We're
This
discussing
is hard to
donations
do
and
this
grants,
meeting.
correct? Are we
It's
discussing
very
donations
hard
and
to do
grants?
this meeting when I can't say things. You ask a question, I can't answer it because I'll be breaking the Open Meetings Act. And they told me, the Attorney General told me, when they ask something that's not specifically on the agenda, and that's really getting off now, then
So-
don't answer, tell them you'll talk to them afterwards.
I have a question about the grants. You mentioned that there's a foundation that will be doing grants on behalf of Homer Township. When was that voted on by the board that that foundation
You
could
know
go
what?
grants?
If nobody has any other questions, we're just going to adjourn because,
What happens if you don't
I have
get
a
the
question. I
grants?
want to back up about 10 minutes when we were talking about grants. Did you just say that you have not received any grants yet?
we did receive it. We did.
You did. What grant was that?
Dollars from the CDGD.
Pardon?
It's an infrastructure grant.
Pardon?
It's an infrastructure grant.
For?
Infrastructure.
Okay. For how much? Sorry.
Excuse me?
How much?
$500,000.
Okay. And how much has been spent so far on this building?
2.2.
2.2 has been spent. Okay. Thank you. Millions.
What happens if you don't get the grants that you're hoping? What's the backup plan?
We have a motion to adjourn, and do I have a second?
So you're not going to take our questions about the grants? You're just going to
I'll talk to you
stop?
afterwards.
He
I
has
don't
a
want-
question about the grants.
I will tell her after the meeting, come up and
This
talk
is
to me.
on your agenda. Grants is on your agenda, Steve.
All right, what's your question?
What
He
if you
had a
don't get the
question.
grants? What's the backup plan? You can't run it?
If we don't get any grants and we don't get any donations, we'll have a building that the seniors will use for bingo and all the other stuff. We have a pickleball court that's already been donated. So we'll have pickleball and senior events, and that's it. And we won't go forward unless we get grants or donations because we are not going to raise property taxes, period. So it'll be just like it is now. When we open that up, it will not go any further unless we get grants or donations.
But
Period.
$2.2 million
Most of the
has
programs-
already been spent.
To answer your question, most of the programs can be handled once phase one is finished. It's basically an open gym with bathrooms. That's all you need to have the program. Nothing special. The kitchen is for specialty
Are there
stuff.
vault toilets in there?
There's toilets in there, yes.
Are they vault toilets?
They're going to be in,
She's asking if they're vault toilets.
It's for special needs kids.
yeah, that's
They're
what
elevated.
They're higher.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
yes.
Yes, they're vault
There's going to
toilets.
be
Yes.
6
Yes.
bathrooms. I said this before, I can't talk about the bathrooms. Talk to me after the thing because I can't, I
Okay.
got to be so careful because I'm tired of getting
Steve,
calls.
can I make a motion to adjourn, please?
Motion.
Second.
You're going to skip public comment?
All in favor of adjourning?
Nobody
Nobody
signed up.
I'm sorry, nobody signed up for public comment, and that's why we decided to just take it.
I know, but you would have to now, for sure.
Is there a water fountain in there for these sports?
We made a motion, you guys want to
Pardon me?
adjourn?
Is there a water fountain for the sports, like for them to drink?
Yeah, it's,
You got a motion to adjourn, let's go.
He will answer
All in
that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Any nays?
All right, the meeting's adjourned.
Now we will answer
Now
any
you
other
can
questions
talk
that
to me about what you want to talk to me about.